Hey everyone, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, and today we're here with Rachel Siegel, aka Cryptofinally, as you probably know her best as. We're just going to be talking about a bunch of different things, Steem and acquisition. She was recently on MTV as a crypto expert. Tons of different things we're going to be talking about. So if you want to first just dive into the MTV stuff, we can talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for having me on. First off, I'm excited to get to talk to you. I know that I've seen you around for a little while, but we haven't had a lot of interaction. So this is nice. The MTV thing did happen. I don't know if you have any like specific questions, but the rundown of it was MTV came out with a new docuseries, an investigative docuseries called True Life Crime, which is a spin-off of the original True Life. And they did an episode that released this past Wednesday that was cryptocurrency centric. So it was called the $5 million phone hack, and the episode covered SIM swaps, SIM swapping hacks, how that can affect everyday people with their social media. But more so, they covered this one specific crime that happened. Joel Ortiz stole about $5 million in cryptocurrency. So MTV had this entire episode that was about crypto being stolen. They talk a lot about Coinbase. They talk about Bitcoin, how many people are getting involved in buying Bitcoin. It's a pretty cool anecdote, albeit they cut me a little weird. We shot for like a day, and they use like the 2 minutes where I said that Bitcoin is more dangerous for personal theft than a bank is. I was like, that's cool. Don't use the like. I realistically, and I know that the crypto community feels some type of way about it, and that I'm going on a tangent about it. But realistically, I did say things about paper wallets. I did say things about cold storage. I talked about Google Authenticator, taking your stuff off Coinbase, holding your own private keys, doing it on paper, not putting it electronically, all this stuff. But realistically, and I know that that's what we all wanted to hear in this episode. I know that's what we were waiting for, hoping that they were going to change the perception of it. But it's a little far reaching for a mainstream audience. And I think that MTV really knows their audience best. And they probably know that that wasn't going to be something they were going to be able to digest in a confined time period like that, while also covering the story. So in my take, I think it's awesome that cryptocurrency got talked about on MTV at all. It was the first time that they've ever done something that was cryptocurrency centric. And they called me a crypto expert, and that's why everyone feels some type of way. But I didn't edit that episode.
Yeah. But I mean that's really awesome though that it's starting to get more into the mainstream and that they're actually like talking about crypto and getting crypto experts, so to speak.
I
But
think it's so cool. And they found me on Twitter. So like for everyone who's like really upset on Twitter right now, you know, the networks are looking. They are seeing what we're doing on Twitter. And just like talking a bunch of shit and like being negative about what's going on, it doesn't put us in a great light to have something like this happen or continue to happen. You know, it's gonna happen because big media has their own agenda. I fully believe that big media knows what's going on with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and they will continue to talk about it so they can pump their bags. I stand by that. But at like the end of the day, it's the episode is what it was, and it was very, very cool that they had anything to say about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin in the first place. And that's really what I talk about overall as well. As for the time that I've been operating as Cryptofinally, my biggest thing has been demographic expansion of the space, inclusion, and finding a way to get people who wouldn't otherwise have heard about this to hear about it.
yeah, absolutely. For me, I think the biggest venue to mass adoption is through like the social aspect. So that's why I've always been really focused on crypto and like blockchain social media. So speaking of which, let's jump into the Steemit acquisition by Tron. I'd love to get your thoughts on that and where you think Steemit is going, and then also how this is going to affect Steem as a whole as well.
Well, I have like a few thoughts on this. I'll be completely honest. I'm still a little confused. And I think that a lot of people are feeling that way. It's just like kind of confusion about what does happen next. Um, so if Steemit's moving to the Tron blockchain, I think that my largest question has to do with the dapps that have been built on Steem with the intention of posting through to the Steemit blog. So I know a lot of people are saying like, it's not Steem, it's Steemit. But there has been a lot of products and a lot of projects that have been built with idea of posting through to the Steemit blog. So I wonder how the blockchains will interact with each other, if there's any sort of integration. What does this mean for DTube, Threespeak, and other platforms of the like that would normally have your videos post through to your Steemit blog as a whole? And that's where I would go to view my posts. I very seldom go through on DTube itself to find videos. I'll be on Steemit because I know that anyone who posts a video on DTube is going to post straight through to Steemit. So just questions about stuff like that when it comes to like the user experience. When it comes to like the movement of Steemit to Tron itself, I mean, I think that there is a lot of possibility for big things to happen here. Steemit, as far as the interface goes, and a lot of people have been giving this 2 cents, is that it's kind of had the exact same look for a long time now. And it hasn't really advanced, and there hasn't really been any like additions to it. So I noticed, like, what was it, last week they came out with new updates, like right after this happened. And now we have like rankings on our Steemit profiles. Have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, so there was an update on Steemit shortly after this was made, and like Justin Sun went and pushed it out on Twitter and everything. And then I noticed on my Steemit profile, in the bio section, there's now additional information. So now in the bio section, it actually gives your followers it shows them how much Steem power you have, so like the size of your account and your upvotes. And then it also shows you a ranking compared to every other Steemian, which is kind of.
Oh wow, I just brought that up. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, and it gives it an edge. It really does, because now there's a number there, and now people want to post because inherently we want to get a higher number. We want to get up there, be number one.
Yeah,
I'm number like 8,800 and something, I think. But like,
yeah, but I mean, hey, like it's pretty cool out of the like millions of people that are on Steem. Yeah, I didn't actually notice that. I just noticed the like communities update, which is pretty cool as well, which is like all the new groups and stuff like that. But yeah, I completely missed that. Is there anything else that came with that update?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Like, I didn't see any announcement that any of this stuff was going to happen. I just noticed on my blog one day it was different.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a little bit of a learning curve with what's going on here now, because they will make updates. But I think because they made the move to the Tron blockchain, we're expecting announcements, as opposed to if they had just stayed the same and suddenly like redesigned themselves. So now we're all just wondering what's happening next. Do you know? Do you have any more information about that? About like it's going to be on the Tron blockchain. So is it just not going to use Steem anymore?
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen, like watching the AMA and like reading all the announcements and everything coming out, from like my interpretation, they're going to still like have it existing on Steem, but they're going to introduce some sort of new token. They haven't given information if they're going to do like a token swap. And I'm really curious because they also acquired DLive, and with DLive, they're completely abandoning the Lino blockchain. So I'm just curious as if like how that will impact the way that they might go about with Steem. I mean, obviously they don't control the Steem blockchain, but they get the majority stake by acquiring Steemit. So like, that obviously will have some impact as well on the Steem blockchain. But yeah, no, I'm really curious to see how they take it forward. I mean, presumably with the resources that Tron has, I think that it'll hopefully improve the experience for people on Steem. But I'm also a little concerned, obviously, as to how the value of Steem and what that's going to look like, and if that entices people to focus more on Steem dapps, or if they move to Tron, because they said they also want to get the other dapps to move to Tron as well. So that would just be basically completely abandoning Steem at that point. But yeah, I don't know, because like DTube also has been building their own chain. So like for all I know, they might just go off and just do their own chain. But I'm sure with like Threespeak and other dapps, they'll probably still rely on Steem, and then they might go to Tron. It really depends. If a lot of the dapps start going to Tron, I think they'll all probably go.
Yeah, I'm likely. So also, do you use Steem Peak at all? Sorry, you're going off of this integration talk, and I'm just wondering if Steem Peak is directly related to Steemit, or if Steem Peak can be used even now that Steemit's going to change.
Yeah, so like all the other interfaces like Steampeak and like busy.org, they will all still exist, and they'll still be their own like interfaces on Steem. And they won't be like necessarily related to Steem It. They'll be their own thing. So if Steem does, I mean, if Steem It completely went to Tron, then Busy and Steam Peak and all those other interfaces will still offer the same thing on Steem, even if Steem It doesn't offer that anymore.
I mean, I think personally that the hardest jump is going to be getting the like Steem community to accept Tron, not Steem. Because they're, you know, like they're the Steem army. Steem
Yeah.
people love their Steem like so much, outrageously so. I don't think I've ever seen, well, I have, but like that's hyperbolic for sure. But I've seen, you know, hundreds of people on Twitter, you know, if they're on Steem it, they just say at Steem, like it's in their title. They want you to know they are loud and they are proud. So I guess that would be a question for me, is like, where do their allegiances lie as far as their cryptos? Because I know that we're like, if you're really specific about an altcoin or you're a really big maxi, like that's who you are. And I don't know if Justin Sun, like just changing it is going to make a big difference in that regard. But what I think would be cool, when like what you were saying about DLive, is if maybe DLive took over some sort of DTube like function and did post through to Steem once it moves over to Tron. I hope that DLive and whatever the new Steem it, I don't even know if we're gonna call it, like what are we gonna call it, Tron it. Like I hope that they integrate somehow so we can do that. It's DLive is an interesting beast in my opinion, because it deletes your videos after 3 days, right? So you can live stream, but after 3 days, all of your content's gone. So if you're not live streaming daily, your account looks completely empty. So for someone like me who live stream, I live stream twice on Fridays, right? So by the time Monday comes around, my videos are gone for the rest of the week, and it's just I have no content on DLive. I actually had a conversation with Justin about the possibility of them changing that, if it can actually be built into that blockchain. And so that's information that I don't know. You know, I'm not a dev. I don't know if there's a reason it needs to be deleted after 3 days. But we did talk about that. And he said he was definitely going to look into it. I think it's a really smart idea to allow creators to have their content stay on the page. So.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. For me, my biggest concern with DLive was the access to your own funds, like based on all the restrictions they have for like withdrawing. Because the issue for me was that their withdrawal like policy was the same as to whether or not you'd earned like the Lino points or if you deposited the Lino points. So right now they have a restriction where you have to have streamed a certain amount of hours to withdraw funds. So that means if myself, which I did, I deposited money, got Lino points, I can't get that money back unless I'm a streamer. So like,
Wow.
that seems like really weird to me. And yeah, like anyone who put in money to Lino can't get it back unless they've streamed. So what now I expect before the Lino blockchain goes away, everyone's gonna turn on a stream and just like leave it on for like 3 days just so that they can take out their money. Which is just it's weird, and it's also gonna pump up their like how many hours streamed do we have on this service is gonna go up like ridiculously. And that's going to be kind of like not a true representation. But yeah, like I think it's weird when they have like weird restrictions for access to your own funds. And I guess I understand why, because they're trying to like they're lumping it in with whether or not you're earning or you're actually just it's your funds and you're getting them back. Like what are your thoughts on that? Did you know about that or no?
I didn't. I've never tried to withdraw or, you know, put anything into DLive, so I actually didn't have that information. But I do think that's interesting and weird. There should be a direct in and out system. But, you know, stuff like that, I guess. I don't know if they're trying to prevent bots. So like I know that a lot of these, some of these dapps like SoMe, you have to KYC before you can withdraw your funds on SoMe. And the reason that they did that was to prevent people from just botting in on it and getting all the rewards and then taking it out of the system, because they were getting, I think, a high traction of that happening, and this prevented it. So maybe DLive is trying to put some sort of preventative measure in place to prevent people from doing something like that. But I did not know that. That is curious. And the tokens on DLive confuse me anyway. Like I don't understand the lemons and the treasure chests and stuff. Like
yeah, it's all backed by the Lino blockchain, which is gonna go away anyway. So like it's not really gonna matter very soon. But yeah, it's just backed by this blockchain, but it's not like a publicly traded coin that they have. Like it's just they control it. I don't know if you'd even call it a real cryptocurrency,
Yeah.
because it's not like listed anywhere. But yeah, they completely control the price as well. And oddly enough, it sells at a different value if you buy it on an app like the DLive app versus you
Yeah.
buy it on the website, which is again pretty weird. Um, but yeah, I mean, like it's still it's really interesting platform, and if Tron can like fix some of those things, and like obviously it'll probably be using Tron or BTT or something like that. So it'll actually be like a publicly traded cryptocurrency. So that's like several steps to a better DLive. And yeah, if they change some of these different things, I think they could definitely improve it a lot. I mean, I was gonna say turn it around, but most people like it where it is, and they're not really aware of these things. But because I think it's mostly people coming from Twitch who are seeing a lot of like benefits to DLive, and obviously the allure of PewDiePie being on there. Um, and I mean, it was a smart move. I think they're like buying PewDiePie's influence, and it was a decent platform. And then hope again, I think Tron is going to turn it around, and I'm hoping that's the case. But we'll have to see what they do.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So if you have a certain amount of hours streamed, you actually can exchange those tokens for like Bitcoin or something?
I
Or
think
is
it's
it just a
just
utility? Like, is it just like you buy it and that's why you can't get it back because you bought it and it's like not
yeah. I
crypto?
think they like send you money directly. I don't know if they can trade it out into a cryptocurrency. Like originally they were just doing PayPal.
Oh, okay.
Yikes.
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah, but I don't know if they've since changed that where you can just get like a cryptocurrency. Hopefully that's what they've done. But ever since they added that restriction, I haven't been able to test it obviously because I haven't streamed on DLive.
Yeah.
So I haven't been able to test it unfortunately. But um I'd be curious to see what that is like now, if you can actually get crypto or if it's still PayPal.
Yeah. I mean, that is interesting. How many hours do you need to have? Do you know?
I think it's 80 hours streamed.
Oh, wow. That's a
Yeah.
lot
So
of
I'm saying
stream.
like you have to be on there for like 3 days. Like, yeah.
I guess if you're just a gamer and you're using it for gaming, that's feasible. Like you might just sit there for 10 hours in the day and like play your game, but that's a lot of time. I don't think that's very realistic for many content creators to, get down with.
Yeah, yeah, especially for just people who just have funds on the platform and just want to get their money back, right? So
80,
it's like
81-hour videos, like that's
yeah, right? Like that would take a really, really long time. Even if you're like
Mhm.
50 videos in and you just want to get some of your funds, you can't even get them yet. And what are some of the other restrictions? It was you have to KYC, you have to be 16 or older. So if you're 13 and you put money in and then you're like, actually, no, I want my money back, it's like, well, you've got to wait 3 years.
Feels like a scam.
Yeah, I know. And they can't get it back also because Lino is gonna be gone in the next few months. So,
Mhm.
and then you also need to withdraw a minimum of 4,250. So right now I've got like 3,000 Lino points. So I have no idea what to do with that, unless I bought more just so that I could withdraw. But yeah, so there's a lot of restrictions, and it makes it very sketchy, which I'm hoping will change under Tron to make it more open and less restrictive.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully. I think that, there has to be some sort of overarching plan if they're just going around buying these like social media dapps. So I hope that there is some sort of cool integration and update that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, because there isn't really a lot of like social dapps on Tron. So I guess like instead of like creating some big dApp, they're just gonna like acquire a bunch of them and just like jump right into the social games. So I mean, considering they haven't really been in the social ecosystem before, I'm really curious to see how that all plays out, and how like Tron backed blockchain social operates. So I'm more excited than I am concerned, I guess I would say.
Yeah.
But I do still have like that lingering concern for like Steem as a, like someone who believes in Steem. I'm kind of like iffy as to how well this is going to go for all the other dApps, and if everything's just going to become Tron, or if Steam's still going to be able to function by itself, and what the all the other dApps are going to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have those questions as well. And I recently started streaming on Threespeak as well. Threespeak is pretty new. I have like 6 followers on Threespeak. It's, not my big claim to fame, but I've been streaming on there because the community has been really great. And I've been a lot more active on Steemit. So I too, I'm excited and I want to see what happens with this. And hopefully they do find a way to do these integrations, because it's a lot of, as creators, us hopping around from platform to platform waiting to see like which one's gonna stay. And I really, really like Threespeak. I'm a big fan of it. And I've talked about this a few times before, but the UI and the UX in Threespeak is just it's fantastic in my opinion in comparison to DTube. I still use DTube, but the upload process for DTube requires you to literally sit there and wait with the screen open for it to do a lot of stuff, and it does all the encoding in front of you. It does everything in front of you, and it makes you stay on the page, slows down your computer. It can take like an hour. Sometimes it just doesn't ever go. Whereas in Threespeak, you can upload your video and it does all the encoding on the back end. So you could upload like 7 videos all at once and they'll all upload, and it'll take you like 15 minutes. And that's as far as a content creator perspective, it really does mean a lot for like to have that time saved. It's like for me posting to DTube, I'd change the settings on my computer so that my screensaver wouldn't come up, so that I wouldn't lose my video in the process, and I was setting it to like just never turn off because it would take so long. But yeah, I am curious to see what the developments of all this stuff is, and I hope that new things like Threespeak, I think it's a super successful concept. I hope that they actually get their chance to shine and aren't swiped off by this move on the blockchain, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because like I was saying, like with DTube, they could always potentially just go to their own chain, but yeah, like I hope Threespeak still makes it through this. I recently did an interview with They Call Me Dan, who made Threespeak, and yeah, like it's a really, really awesome project, and he's really aiming to make it more of the like high performance kind of like high quality that you're used to as a content creator versus with DTube. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more drawn out for the upload process, and there's more like quirks and issues that'll pop up there. So you're on a lot of different social platforms on like crypto monetized and blockchain platforms. Do you want to dive into some of the other platforms that you're on? Like I think I've seen you on Sawme or SoMe, whatever way it's pronounced, Flow, Uptrennd. I don't know where else you are, but those are some of the ones I've seen you on recently, I think.
So I'm not on Uptrennd anymore. If someone is, they're pretending to be me. But I was on Uptrennd in the past. I got into a little bit of a scuffle with their team. I'm blocked by Uptrennd on Twitter, actually.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. I didn't love, I'll be just like full transparency. I had issues initially they were trying to do some promotional stuff, and they were paying their people in their 1UP tokens, and they basically overpaid like the market cap like to their people before they launched the ability for the users to withdraw the coins, and then they allowed their team to withdraw the coins and dump on the users before the users could actually make withdrawals. And it happened that way, and I kind of called them out on it. I was like, hey, this structure is bullshit. Like, all these people are putting money into this and trying to like withdraw. People were buying the tokens. People were buying the tokens to use on Uptrennd and hoping to get the money out to monetize. And in the time that the users were not able to withdraw, the team is literally just dumping on the whole market. And I thought that that was shady. And so what I did was doubly shady, and I made a post on Uptrennd called why Uptrend's a scam, and I used all of my up points to boost this post, and it sat on the very top of their website for like 2 days because I put all the money into just keeping it on the top boost. You can do that with them, and they were so mad, and people were yelling, and Jeff Kirkadillis was screaming like obscenities at me on that thread. I swear. I think it's been removed, but like Jeff was like, lost it. And then I kid you not, I'm tracking this shit. I'm watching the market because I'm taking these screenshots. I wrote this whole article about it. I put it. And the thing is, I wasn't even trying to out them like in the community. I had 20,000 Twitter followers at the time. I didn't post about it on Twitter. I kept them out of that. What I wanted to do was let the people who were using it know that this was happening, because I felt that that was important. And they've made changes since. And I think because of that, I'm going to be honest with you, it was something like they had completely gone down when the team took the money out. And then that night, like the night that I made the post, all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, $20,000 goes into their market and the whole thing goes way up because it like didn't have a lot of liquidity to begin with, right? And it's botted in. It's a botted in 20K. And it's literally, if you look at the transactions, it's every 3 seconds, they're putting like 3 Ethereum into it, right? Until you hit $20,000. And I was like, that's them. That is Jeff botting his own market, trying to make it look like something it wasn't. And I was just offended by this, and they didn't appreciate it and they blocked me. But that's what happened with Uptrennd. Anyway, that was a weird tangent that didn't have to do with the social media that I'm using now. But it's also an interesting story when it comes to these platforms that are still owned by these people. It is a decentralized platform, but it's still Jeff's platform. And what does that mean? So
yeah, I mean, that's definitely still important to share. Like I had no idea about that. What I did know about and what I previously brought up to Jeff was how they were originally selling the tokens on the website for like 5 cents, and then when it like finally launched, it was barely worth like less than half a cent, and then
because of the story I just told. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it all kind of like comes around trip because I had pointed this out and I was like, okay, well, like you guys were selling the tokens and then you stopped selling them and then now they're only worth like a tiny fraction of that. So I was like, so what's with that? Like he's like, oh well, like we stopped selling them because I don't know exactly why, but he's like, now they're just traded on like exchanges at whatever they're worth. And I was like, I mean, like that makes sense, but it was weird that you guys were selling them at a specific price and then changing it afterwards. And he's like, yeah, well, we fixed that since. So yeah, I didn't actually know that like that was why, because I saw a long time ago you mentioned Uptrennd in some like interview or some video or something, and then that's when I originally found Uptrennd. So that's actually kind of an interesting round circle where it's like I found it because of you and then pointed all that stuff out. Well, I had no idea that happened. Sorry, what?
I was really excited about Uptrennd. I was genuinely really excited about it when I got on, and then I started feeling like it was a weird situation. And then one of their old employees actually was the one who reached out to me. We had all been in a group chat where I was expressing my concerns to the team. And one of them DM'd me separately, created a side chat with just me and was like, girl, the tokenomics are fucked. Like, you cannot do this. You need to understand. And like showed me all this stuff. And I was like, oh, wow, this is very real. I was looking at the transactions. I was seeing like how much of these tokens that Jeff was sending to his team and how much was actually in liquid. And that's exactly why the price, I think, tanked. But yeah, that's what happened with Uptrennd. And I don't really know how they're doing now in that respect. And I don't honestly know if they're intentionally shady or just disorganized. You know, I don't know if it comes from a place of malice or not. I said the same thing about Jacob in the massive adoption conference. But initially, like when they were talking to me, I remember, and this was a super weird thing. This is just like a weird one-off anecdote, but one of their team members sent me the deck for CCN, right? You know, the news CCN, the crypto news. And they sent me a deck for it and told me that they owned CCN. And I was like, wait, no, you don't. Like, what are you talking about? Like, and they're like, no, not that CCN, like this CCN. And I'm like, but you sent me that CCN's deck just now. So stuff like that too. Just kind of strange. And I don't know if they're like just kind of weird guys. But who knows? I hope that the project's going better, and I hope that people were actually able to get their money out if they put it in, because that really does suck, going from 5 to under 1 cent.
Yeah.
Yeah. But alternatively, there are a lot of new platforms like Somi, which I'm on now. I'm posting to Somi, and I've really been enjoying it. Again, I think the difference with Somi and Uptrennd is that you need to be friends with people. Like, there aren't followers, there are friends. And that's cool. So it's not like you can follow someone and they don't follow you. You must follow each other, which changes the sort of social aspect of it. It's not like a Twitter, it's more like a Facebook. And I think that's really what we should view that as. And that's a really good distinction for it, because a lot of people are going to places like Somi from Twitter and being like, what is this? It's like, it's Facebook. It's just not Twitter. And they're completely different platforms. So I think Somi is really cool. I think Float, I just started posting more on Float recently. There's something about their UI that I enjoy like quite a bit. It's like bubbly. It makes you feel good. It's definitely got some psychological colors in there or something going on. I don't know what it is. It's very dev looking, but it's also fun, and that's hard to accomplish. So good job, Float. And then I'm on Minds. And my Minds, I think, is a little bit more difficult at this point. I still post regularly to Minds. But I've been having a little more trouble with it, just as far as like natural growth, organic growth, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
a lot of these platforms, yeah, I'm on several decentralized platforms right now.
Yeah, I've sort of noticed that too with Minds, where it's like the organic growth has sort of like slowed down, and like boosts are very limited now, and there's like, a congested queue, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just really, really slowed down on Minds. I guess people sort of I guess people sort of had the hope originally that Minds tokens were going to be worth a lot one day, and then kind of came to the realization it's like, well, they're actually a utility token, so they're probably not really going to change in value, and you're not really going to be able to sell them either. So people eventually were kind of like, oh, like, I guess I can't make money off of this. And then it's sort of like, yeah.
It's not really a monetization site. It allows you to like boost and stuff like that. But if you're not accruing Minds tokens, if nobody's wiring you, if you're not getting a big payout on your post, which is hard to do if you don't have like a following and the growth isn't there and the algorithm kind of doesn't work in your favor. I still really like the platform, but it does become harder to do. Boosts become expensive. Like the cost of one Minds token is pretty inexpensive, but the actual cost in the gas and Ethereum can be more. And that's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. Like if you do 2 boosts, like say you boost your page and then you boost 1 post, you could have just spent $5 in Ethereum just to do that. And that's kind of like not the best thing in my opinion. You shouldn't have to put forward so much. Like something should be cleaned up in some respect. That should be a 5-cent transaction fee for trying to boost my post, because I'm already putting money in to boost it, So that's why I'm using the transaction fees outside of what I already paid to buy the Minds token to boost it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then for Float, yeah, I really, really like Float. Like they've got encrypted messaging, live streaming with like free super chats with like Bitcoin donations, and then you can get your supporters and everything, because they acquired a Bitbacker, and then they sort of took on that like Patreon, like crypto Patreon sort of role in the blockchain universe. And I recently did an interview with Kingsley Edwards, the CEO there, and yeah, I really think that platform is really good. I mean, obviously they don't post anything to the blockchain, but it really serves that role as that kind of like Twitter mixed with Patreon blockchain platform.
Yeah, no, I like it. I receive $2 monthly on Float, but I do like it for that. And I think it's a lot easier for people in the crypto community to get down with, doing things like tips through cryptocurrency. Like Patreon's a hard sell in our industry.
Yeah,
attach
absolutely.
a credit card and send me $15 a month. It's like, well, why? So yeah, I think it's a good spot. I was on Bitbacker, but the UI sort of wasn't there. So what Float did for it, as far as the UI UX perspective, really did help and make it more accessible for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they did something really right with their UI, and I don't know if you saw, they have like a little like joke setting where you can like have a little hamster pop up in the corner of your browser.
Exactly.
It's in the settings. It's just like enable ham or something like, and then there's just like a little hamster or something, which I thought was just like really random but kind of
How
hilarious.
do you do that?
Yeah, yeah, it's so random, and I was just like, what is this? But like, why
That's
not?
fun.
Yeah,
Makes it
yeah,
fun.
and then yeah, for like SoMe, yeah, you're definitely spot on by saying it's basically like the Facebook, not really like the Twitter.
Mhm.
And yeah, like I'm really interested with how SoMe is kind of building out their platform. And I recently spoke with Christopher Kramer as well there. And yeah, like I think they're doing a really good job. I mean, obviously there's resistance with like the KYC, but he said like soon they're going to have it where you can spend your earnings on the KYC verification, so that can kind of get around the issues of people like not wanting to spend their actual like US or Canadian dollars or whatever on the verification. So then hopefully once they get that rolled out, they see more of like an uptick of people who are actually willing to do that.
Mhm. No, absolutely. And I think that they're looking into a way to make it a little bit more simple as well. Because right now, yeah, there's a fee when you KYC to verify as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a kind of high fee. I think it's $100 right now. Um, and so I think that they're looking for a way to lower that fee because obviously they're paying for that KYC process on their end. So, and it does prevent the botting and that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that there are some like movements to be made, but they're doing a lot of big stuff right now. I know Christopher is actually out here in New York, I believe, right now doing some SoMe stuff. I'm not exactly sure what, but he was excited and told me that he would, keep me in the loop. And maybe I'll get to go see him. I think that he's out here for the weekend.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, because he told me just when we did the interview that just the day before he was in New York doing some interview. I can't remember what it was with, but it was some big thing for SoMe.
Yeah.
So hopefully that went well. Like I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was some big talk. I think it was like it was on Wall Street. It was at some big, like it might have been the New York Stock Exchange even. But yeah, regardless, like they're really interesting platform. Have you used library like
Yeah.
LBRY?
Yeah. So I do. I sync my YouTube to library. I don't know if it's pronounced library or library. I
I think it's
assume.
just library. I
I
think
I
that's what
know,
it
but
is.
I get it. It's just anyway. Yeah, I am on library. And I actually like that. I like the interface on there a lot as well. Super easy, super clean and fast. Doesn't take long for things to load. You can click right through, and I think the LBC token is pretty cool as well. So being able to monetize and the syncing to YouTube, which is really fantastic because it makes it pretty simple. I'm already going across like 4 different platforms, uploading the same video 4 different times. The fact that I can just upload it straight to YouTube and it syncs directly through to a decentralized service is pretty cool in my opinion. So,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I think we need more tools that make cross posting easier. Just because, like me myself, I'm on like easily like 10 or 15 platforms, and I'm going through and copying and pasting and
Yeah.
spending so much time to actually get all the videos out there. So I think like library and BitChute having those tools to allow you to like auto sync. BitTube does that as well. um Having those tools is just so important. And yeah, library gives so many monetization options to users, and I think that's just like awesome. Like whether you're watching videos, you're going to earn LBC if you're putting out videos. And like you said, with the YouTube sync, you actually also get, based on your subscribers, you get like a monthly payout from them as well. I didn't know if you know that, but
Yeah.
it's like if you have 1,000 subscribers, you get like 90 LBC a month or something like that. And then there's like different tiers. So they're doing so many different things to like reward the users that I think it's just super awesome. And they're having tons of people come over, especially after like the crypto purge on YouTube in December.
Yeah, that's when people really started talking more about them. So I know that they've been around for a long time. They also made this update. So you used to need to have to download the desktop application to use it,
Yeah.
right? And that is what actually prevented me from doing it in the first place. So I've known about library for a long time, but I was on like a shitty old like little laptop, and it was honestly completely out of hard drive space, and I just couldn't handle downloading the entire library thing. And then like it's operating on the blockchain. I got all these videos on it. So my computer couldn't handle that. So they have a web browser now, and that has really made all the difference for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
makes it easier
absolutely.
for everyday people to access it too. Like you kind of can't expect everyone to download a desktop app to use the service. So
Yeah, especially from like the user perspective, like not uploading videos, a million times easier for them to use the browser. And now that they have the mobile app too, it's like day and night compared to what it used to be, because just having a desktop app is just so restrictive for people, like because most people want like some phone app, or at the very least, like you said, like a browser. So yeah, ever since then, like they've been really taking off. And I mean, they have some like campaign going right now for new users to join, and I think they already got over like 100,000 users this month
wow.
alone. So yeah, like so they're definitely taking off. So I'm really excited to see how that grows as well. Um, have you used Publish OX at all?
I have not. I have not, but like
Okay.
people keep commenting in on all my threads that it's like great to earn on a publish. So, I ask those questions sometimes, like, what's your favorite way to earn cryptocurrency? Like what's the best place to earn crypto? And a lot of people actually do write in Publish OX. So I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
used it,
because
but
yeah, because it's like it's the only crypto agnostic platform I know of where they don't have their own token, but other platform, or rather, I guess other projects will donate a certain amount to them, and then based on the tips that people give out, rather like just via likes, the sponsored token will give out rewards. So right now it's BAT, like the basic attention token,
mhm.
and just for however many likes you get, they'll give you a certain amount of BAT. So like on the last post that I did, I think I got like $3 worth of BAT. So I think it's a really, really interesting platform. It's different from all the other platforms in the fact that it doesn't use its own token, and they have different sponsors every like couple of months. And yeah, it's really, really interesting. I mean, they don't post to the blockchain or anything. They just are crypto monetized, I guess. And yeah, it's very interesting. It's kind of like Medium, like it's more for like blogging, but like I always attach my YouTube videos and everything as well.
Mhm.
But it's very consistent for earning. I think that will be the biggest pull for people to want to use it. It's like with Steem and such, you sometimes have to more rely on like whale upvotes and like people with more stake, whereas Publish OX, everyone has the same vote value, so you're able to earn much more consistently, and you're able to earn generally like the same as everyone else is earning. So yeah, I think it's really, really interesting and worth checking out.
Yeah, I will definitely check it out. You gave it a much better explanation than the like brief comments that I've read in my threads as well, which are people who are just again super excited about these platforms. Publish XO is the best, and like posting like the thing, and I'm like, okay. But you made
Yeah.
it sound really good just now. So I'm definitely gonna look it up. Yeah, I'll definitely give that a chance because people do seem like they're on there, and if the community is there, and it sounds pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and lately, they all their stats are like publicly available. Lately, they've been growing way faster. Like I think if you look at like December, it starts to like exponentially go up in terms of like where it was before. So yeah, they're definitely doing really, really well right now. So yeah, definitely check that out. I don't know if there's any other platforms that we didn't talk about. Have you ever used like Read Cash or any of the like Bitcoin Cash sort of platforms where you can earn? No, it's again kind of similar to Publish OX. It's like a Medium article based kind of platform, but it's just using Bitcoin Cash to give out rewards. That one's a little like smaller, a little newer, but I use it too. It's definitely worth taking a look at. But are there any other platforms that we didn't mention that you use right now?
Um, Float, Somi, Mines, Threespeak, DTube, DLive. So I do stream to DLive.
Mm,
Threespeak, DTube, DLive, Steemit, Library. I don't know. I think that might be all the decentralized platforms that I'm on right now. There are just so many. I can actually take a
yeah.
look and find out. So Oh, I am on BitTubers as well. I'm on
Oh,
BitTubers.
okay.
I'm on BitChute too. Okay, so yes, I'm also on BitTubers and BitChute. So I like I like them both just fine. They're obviously both sort of in beta right now. Um, can you still see me okay?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, my window disappeared. So it's fairly new in that respect. I like the syncing through YouTube option, but I've had a lot of trouble with that on BitTubers. A lot of the time it will sync your video through, but it will only show the thumbnail. Has that ever
Oh,
happened to you?
no.
So sometimes that will occur. So if you were to go to like my BitTubers page right now, there are several double videos because like my live streams from YouTube that would have been uploaded just come through as a thumbnail. So you can't click them and then I upload it again. So that's like I don't know if maybe that's some sort of miscalculation in them trying to also become a blogging platform, you know?
Mm.
So maybe it's
Yeah,
just
true.
showing my post, something like that, similar to the way like Threespeak would post through to Steemit. Um, but I'm not
Is
sure. So
is it just for live streamed episodes, or is it just for like any episode?
well, I've noticed that my old videos will have disappeared as well. I can go on my page right now and actually take a look.
Because yeah, I had an issue originally verifying like on the like with a Canadian phone number. I don't know. Apparently they always have issues. Um, but yeah, I emailed them and then they fixed it for me pretty quick. So maybe if you do have any issues, their support team is actually pretty solid.
Yeah, yeah, but I know they're making that move to try and make it more of a full-fledged thing. What is? See, yeah, I'm looking at mine now. It's just a little confusing for me. It like uses this. I don't understand exactly, but I'll get better at it. Everything's a learning curve here, especially with
Yeah.
brand new platforms. But yeah, I'm looking at it now. It like repeats my same thumbnail more than once, so I'm not sure. BitChute, I've been enjoying. I have 0 followers on BitChute at all, but I'm still posting all my videos to there.
Oh yeah, I just pulled up your platform. Yeah, it's like you've got a bunch of like repeated
How
thumbnails.
weird is that, right? So that's
Yeah,
not
that
me
is interesting.
manually doing that. I wouldn't allow
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because it also shows the same amount of views, so that's really weird. Interesting.
Right?
Yeah. But yeah, with BitChute, I'm curious as to how it actually like uses the blockchain because they say it uses the blockchain, but it's really just kind of like blockchain tech, like sort of like it's like peer-to-peer technology, but I don't know exactly how it's like blockchain specifically. I would be really interested in seeing them come out with like a cryptocurrency or like trying to involve themselves more in this space, but I don't see a ton of development from BitChute, but I still think it's like it's worth using.
Yeah. Yeah, I still post all my videos, but yeah, if you look, it is like wacky sort of stuff like that. Like I don't understand why it's posting the same video twice or why the exact same thumbnail appears. So if you actually saw my page, it said like Finally Friday episode 7, and for some reason it had the thumbnail from the MTV Watch Party, which happened like after the fact. So the thumbnail couldn't have possibly been that when I uploaded episode 7, and I don't know where those lines got crossed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really weird. Yeah. Yeah, I guess they're all still kind of working their way, but yeah, I mean, I think 2020 is going to be a really big year for blockchain social, especially with the Bitcoin halving coming up. I think, with all the hype and everything around that, hopefully will be much more bullish, and then all these platforms will kind of go off of that hype, and like it'll probably help them with profits and everything as well to be able to invest more into development and all that. So maybe we should talk about the Bitcoin halving a little bit because obviously that's coming up pretty soon, so that's going to be really relevant as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you have 2 cents about it? I think that, people are getting excited and feeling all sorts of ways. And I think that that's like totally normal. But I'm skeptical as to the way that it might affect the market, you know?
Yeah, I think it'll be obviously a lot less impactful than
Mhm.
previous halvings, because obviously it's like there's only like a 2 point something million coins left to be minted.
Mhm.
But I still think it'll have some relevance. It'll still like we'll see some like jump, but yeah, definitely won't be like 3,000 or anything like that
Yeah.
percent. That'd be nice, obviously, but I don't think
Insane.
that's yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be insane. It would be unrealistic, really. But
It'd be
yeah, I
the
mean,
best day ever. Like,
yeah, because I'm pretty sure everyone would just sell and be like, I think I've earned all I
it
need.
would be done.
Ye-
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, yeah, no, it'd be insane. Everything would just go up, and it would just be ridiculous. But I'm sure we're gonna see something like a tiny microscopic version of that.
mhm.
Uh, I'm sure some people are going to be happy because it's going to go up and they weren't even aware of the Bitcoin halving, and then other people who were really keen on the Bitcoin halving are going to be a little disappointed when it's not like as exponential as they were hoping.
Yeah.
But I still think it's going to have like obviously a positive impact, even if it's like a small impact. I'm sure it'll kind of bump up all the coins a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I was having this conversation with Ken Bosak yesterday, actually, where he was just basically saying, and this is completely true. And like, I know that we're all excited about our charts and our stuff like that, but like, this is real money, and there has to be real money going in, and there has to be a lot of it for it to do what these people are expecting it to do. There has to be a lot of it. Things are going to have to really, really ramp up for something like the 3,000%. It's not realistic, and these calls for like 100K tomorrow are honestly dangerous. It's dangerous for new investors, who don't have anything else to go on besides this information. Like, don't tell them it's going to be 100K tomorrow. You know what would have to happen for it to be 100K tomorrow? Like, a lot. So
Yeah,
yeah, there's outside forces. There's obviously outside forces. It could be something as simple as one big institutional investor throws like $5 billion into the market, and like we see like a big thing happen. But something has to happen. And that's what's interesting about like this speculative kind of space, is like something has to happen for something else to happen. And it's a question on if the first thing happens or not.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So like what are some of the coins that you're bullish on for 2020?
I majoritatively am Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, not for any more particular reason than they're sort of safer bets, in my opinion, than a lot of the other alts, which have a lot more movement. And again, that's just like a risk analysis. Like, that's me saying, like maybe I could make 3,000% on friggin' like Link or something. Like, God knows what I'm gonna make it on, but I'd rather just feel a little more secure in the movement, you know. So that's more
Yeah.
where I stand. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, my biggest one is Ethereum just because there's so many companies building on it right now. A lot of people were thinking that EOS was going to be like the enterprise chain, but they've been having so many like congestion issues with their chain right now. Like what are your thoughts on Voice? Have you taken a look at that or signed up yet for
I've
Voice?
heard a lot about it, but I am not signed up for it. No.
Okay. Yeah, because I can't get signed up yet because it's just for US citizens right now, the beta. But I'm interested to see how that plays out because I know they had to launch it on a private EOS chain because EOS is too congested. But again, like yeah, that's why I kind of say like EOS isn't the enterprise chain. I think it's Ethereum, and there's just so many huge companies building on it that it's just like it's mind-boggling. I think it's going to do really, really well this year and next year. And as people see these massive companies launching projects, they're going to realize like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Walmart, FedEx, Uber, Nike, Microsoft, IBM, all on Ethereum. So, yeah, I'm really interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah. No, I definitely am too. I'm just like wary of considering myself to be like too bullish on anything, you know. Just it's just like it's a scary game. I'd rather just sit sort of comfortably, and like I obviously like the strong projects, like again Ethereum. Obviously, there's a lot to be built on it, and there's a lot of use for it. Smart contracts and everything, and I do believe that that will do well for these purposes. But yeah, I'm more skeptical about the smaller coins, not necessarily because they won't have a good use case, not necessarily because they are not good, but just because this is such a new industry, and these currencies have existed for so little time, that it can be dangerous to diversify too far, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah, no, that makes sense. And people should really only be investing in stuff that they're well acquainted with,
Yeah.
anyways, right? So, uh, none of this is in financial advice, obviously, and people should obviously do their own research. But yeah, no, I think there's a lot happening in this space. I think we covered a good amount of it. We've been on for almost an hour. Is there anything else that you want to like touch on or cover before we maybe end this off?
No, I feel like we covered a lot of good stuff. And it's great to actually get to talk to you. I feel like we've been like back and forth. I feel like I spoke to you like months and months ago, maybe one time, and we said something about a video. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there was like
Maybe.
some conversation in passing, and then I just like never found you again. But I am familiar with you. It's funny because we don't really like roll in the same Twitter crowd. Yeah, and so I don't see you as often on Twitter, but I have seen you a lot on YouTube. And I just feel like we've had a conversation. Anyway, now we have.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I saw you at Futurist last year in Toronto. Are you going this year potentially?
Probably. I mean, I actually haven't heard anything about it yet. Like I haven't seen any promo or
Yeah,
announcement.
I haven't either, but I'm
Yeah.
hoping, because it's so close to me that it's just so easy for me to head over there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Rebel's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Rebel's out of control. But who knows? Maybe. I mean, hopefully. I'm a little surprised to see they haven't been advertising for a new one yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. Maybe we'll see something really soon. So
Yeah.
that'll be fun. But yeah, no, I really appreciate you coming on and actually finally getting the chance to talk about all this different stuff happening in the crypto space and to give a little insight into what you did on MTV. But yeah, no, I really appreciate it. It was really good to actually sit down and do this, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that. Thank you for having me on.
Awesome. All right. Cheers.